Today's main topic is urine formation. Actually, we are taking food. We are eating food, taking fluids, and the formation of blood inside our body. The blood formed when moves along all the capillaries of the tissue, along all the organs. It gets contaminated. Before supplying the blood to other parts, it needs some filtration. Because impure blood can't be supplied. There are two processes for the purification before supplying the blood to other parts of the body. The first one is, filtration, means removal of the nitrogenous waste from the blood. And second one is what? Oxygenation, means oxygenated blood must reach to other part. So these two are the different process, and two organ systems are taking part in this. Our respiratory system is completely responsible for oxygenation of that blood. And our excretory system, that is kidney, are responsible for the purification of blood. Whenever you are mentioning whether the blood is pure and impure, it doesn't mean that pure blood is having the oxygen, that is oxygenated blood. And oxygenated blood doesn't mean that it is pure. It may contain some, nitrogenous waste. So pure and oxygenated blood, both are different. There is an ambiguity. You may confuse with these two words. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, the urine formation. There are three main processes involved in the urine formation. The urine will form ultimately from the blood. And three different steps are there in this process. Number one, glomerular filtration. When the blood filtered out from those 50 capillaries, tuft of capillaries, which are lying in the Bowman's capsule. Here the blood is filtered. When blood is filtered, a filtrate reaches to the descending tubule through proximal convoluted tubule and move forward via Henle loop to ascending tubule and distal convoluted tubule, and ultimately collected in the collecting duct. Before drainage of this urine, this filtrate, there is a need of checking whether this filtrate is carrying some important or some useful substances with it. Yes, it is. It is carrying some amino acid, some proteins, water, glucose, some important salts as well. If they are passing through the urine, that what will be left in our body? They are important for metabolism. So there is another need of the reabsorption, selective reabsorption. So first process is ultrafiltration, glomerular filtration, and the second one is reabsorption. The efferent arteriole surrounding the renal tubule will reabsorb those important, useful substances from that filtrate again. So this is not absorption, this is reabsorption. Now, the blood, the filtrate can reach to the collecting duct. So the third process is what? You can say tubular secretion. Secrete in tubule. Is that clear? These 3 points are clear or not?
Yes, sir. Clear.
No. When this filtrate is passing through the renal tubule, the different part of the nephron playing different role. Whether it is descending tubule, Henle loop, ascending tubule, collecting tubule, etc. Some are permeable for water, then other are not. If some are permeable for salt, sodium and potassium, then other are not. They are playing different role. So now, this is most important to know about the function of different part of the renal tubule. First of all, we'll take Malpighian tubule. Okay, all the part of the nephron playing different role. First of all, I am taking Malpighian capsule. So can you please tell me now, what is Malpighian capsule? What is that? So Malpighian corpuscles, the first one is the first step of formation of urine is ultrafiltration, as we have studied, occur from the glomerular capillaries into the lumen of the Bowman's capsule. This is the apparatus is known as Malpighian corpuscles. Second part is PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal means the attached nearer one. If I just look at my hand, arm, this is proximal to my face, and these are fingers are distal. So at the distance, the distal near one is the proximal. So the proximal part of the descending tubule is somewhat convoluted. Therefore, it is known as PCT. In this segment, 70 to 80% of the electrolytes and water are reabsorbed. In PCT, 70 to 80% electrolytes, electrolytes, salts, and water are reabsorbed. And this proximal convoluted tubule help in maintaining the pH and ionic balance of the body by reabsorbing the electrolyte. By the selective reabsorption and the selective secretion of hydrogen ions, ammonia, and potassium ion into the filtrate and by absorbing bicarbonate ion. Actually, the filtrate is moving through the renal tubule in the first part, the proximal part, where the reabsorption and secretion occur. Secretion means and reabsorption means. Suppose this is the renal tubule and this one is the capillary. It is attached to it. If this capillary, blood capillary, is sending some material in this, then the arrow from this side to this is called secretion. Or if it is just reabsorbing some material from this tubule, this is called reabsorption. Is that clear? Reabsorption and secretion. Secretion means giving something. Reabsorption means taking something. So this PCT is playing a role in the ionic balance and pH of the body. Okay? What is it absorbing? Selectively reabsorption of what? Bicarbonate. And what is the secretion? Secrete क्या कर रही है? Hydrogen ion, because it is useless. Ammonia नहीं चाहिए. Potassium ion into the filtrate. Is that clear? Now filtrate is rich with ammonia, etc., etc. It should be removed from the body. Now come to the next part. That is U-shaped hairpin-like structure is nothing but the, what is that? Henle loop. What is that?
Henle loop.
Henle loop is situated where? In cortical region or juxtamedullary, that is medulla? Think about that. If the nephron are longer, the Henle loop is longer, it is situated in the medullary part. It helps to concentrate the urine. So this segment, that is a Henle loop, plays an important role maintaining the high osmolarity of the medullary interstitial fluid, because it is situated in medulla. And it is playing a role in maintaining the high osmolarity. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Henle loop having two parts, descending limb and ascending limb. So the descending limb that is coming from the PCT, actually, you know well, 70 to 80% of the what? Electrolyte and water has been reabsorbed in that PCT. Now, after that, it is coming in the descending limb of the Henle loop. So in the Henle loop's descending limb, because this descending limb is permeable to water and impermeable to electrolyte. Electrolyte will not move from this. Only water can move. So filtrate become what? Hypertonic or concentrated, because it is only permeable for water. Okay? It is permeable for water, the water will move out and the filtrate become hypertonic, means more salt will be there. Okay? Because electrolyte can't move.
Sir.
Yes. Now the ascending limb is, so this is the descending, now the ascending. This is vice versa. Impermeable to water but permeable to solute. Now what will happen? This urine again will dilute or concentrate. Now this is permeable for water. So water can move in it. Okay. Now the condition will change. In the descending limb, water is not entering. So that is concentrated urine. Now the water is entering because it is permeable for water and impermeable for salt. So now the filtrate is concentrate, or you can say dilute or hypotonic. Now the filtrate is dilute. Now question arises, in which part of the Henle loop the filtrate is hypotonic and hypotonic? Tell me. Okay, leave it. Now, so the proximal, yani PCT is over, Henle loop, descending and ascending limb are over, function are over. Now, next one is distal convoluted tubule. At the distance, convoluted tubule. What will happen there? Reabsorption of sodium ion. I'm talking about the DCT. Reabsorption of sodium ion and water takes place in this segment. Only sodium ion and water. It is depending on the condition of the body, whether it is to be reabsorbed or not. DCT, distal convoluted tubule, also plays an important role, also reabsorb bicarbonate ion and secrete NH3. Okay? Secrete NH3, hydrogen, potassium into the filtrate. Now the filtrate is rich with these things. Thus, it maintaining the pH and sodium-potassium balance in the blood. Now, last one is the collecting duct. Large amount of water could be reabsorbed from this region because all the water cannot be passed through the urine. Approx 175 liter filtrate is found, but only 1.7 liter urine is passed out, where the other 99.9% is gone. It is again reabsorbed. Is that clear? So, collecting tubule is playing a major role in the reabsorption of the water. This segment also allows the transport of a small amount of urea into the medullary intestine to maintain the osmolarity, because urea is also needed to maintain the osmolarity. These are different parts of the renal tubules, nephron, playing different function there. Is that clear?